Even before officially becoming a state, Utah has been considered a haven to many. Outdoor recreation enthusiasts flock there for their nearly unmatched natural beauty. Film enthusiasts and artists enjoy Utah for their festivals and escape from the spotlight or faster pace of life. And of course, Utah is home to many members of the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints. Utah is one of those states you are likely to have preconceived notions about, but it is more than just the Mormon Church, BYU, and nature. Those things are prevalent, but that's not all the state is about. Let's inspect the state together to see why it saw the biggest growth in population over the last decade of any state in America. The population of Utah is now over 3 million residents, and Utah's economy may be one of the biggest reasons that the state has had the fastest growth rate of any state over the last decade. The median income in Utah sits at over $68,000, and the median home price at just over $373,000. The cost of living in Utah is underneath the national average, ranked at number 24 in the country. Utah has a unique property tax structure, in which they only tax 55% of your home's value, which leads to their effective property tax rate being 38% lower than the national average. Utah's income tax is a flat rate just under 5%. This number is not horrible, especially if you make a high income. Having a flat rate income tax really does benefit wealth building in conjunction with their high median income. The average sales tax in Utah is also under 7%, so that's not really too expensive. Violent crime in Utah is 30% less than the national average, and is really good throughout most of the state. The only exception to that might just be Salt Lake City. Their crime rate is 88% higher than the national average. But really, for the biggest city in the state, it's not too dangerous compared to most other states. The majority of places in Utah are much lower than the national average. Property crime in Utah, however, is 15% higher than the national average. Overall, Utah has really low crime rates, and the people really seem to live and let live here. Utah may not seem like a very diverse state, and well, you would be right. What might go unnoticed is that it is probably more diverse than the surrounding states of Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho. 79% of residents are white, 13% are Hispanic, just over 1% are black, just over 2% are Asian, and just under 1% of the population is Native American and Hawaiian and Pacific Islander. And then just over 2% of the population is 2 or more races. The culture in Utah is firmly centered around community. This largely stems from the influence of the LDS Church and the friendly nature of residents. Multiple places I looked said Utah's population is over 60% Mormon. The LDS Church is a bit unorthodox in some ways, but they tend to have really good people who are dedicated to making the world a better place. The culture in Utah is not very ethnic. They are really centered around community though. I am convinced one of the main reasons that Utah's lifestyle attracted so many is the desire for a slower pace of life and really wanting their children to grow up in a place that values community and has a solid structure. In fact, U.S. News ranked Utah as the 4th best state to raise a family and 10th best in education. When you combine great quality of life, high median income, and above average education, it's no wonder why Utah sees so much growth. Utah is not ethnically diverse, but the kind nature of most people will still allow for fantastic quality of life. Utah is a very politically conservative state. I think most conservatives would probably question some of the laws in the state of Utah though. They don't allow alcohol to be sold above 5% in most common stores. Polygamy is once again decriminalized, and apparently, at one point, it was illegal for women to swear in some cities, but they've overruled that. Now earlier, we discussed that Utah has a low tax burden and they have excellent education ratings. The kicker is, they spend the least amount of any state on per pupil education and still have a ridiculously high ranking. Whatever they're doing, West Virginia really needs to take notes. In the 2016 presidential election, Donald Trump won 45% of the vote, Hillary Clinton won 27%, and then just under 28% of the vote went to other candidates. Typically, you can see the Republican candidate score well over 60% of the votes. However, Evan McMullin and Gary Johnson took up almost as many votes as the DNC candidate. I'm certainly no political expert, but I am willing to bet that you can expect Utah to be conservative for the foreseeable future. The weather in Utah is a bit too diverse to generalize for the state. To give you an idea, St. George gets more than a month's worth of sun and receives 83% less annual precipitation than Salt Lake City. Utah is mostly a combination of deserts and mountains. It is really important to understand what the climate is for the places you are interested in moving. The statewide averages are 90 degrees for the July highs. The January low averages 17 degrees. Utah gets 15 inches of rain, 43 inches of snow, and 238 days of annual sunshine. In Salt Lake City itself, they have wonderful public parks, in addition to food, shopping, and artistic districts. I fondly remember walking the streets of Salt Lake City on vacation as a kid. There's something special about that place. Also, check to see if the world-famous Mormon Tabernacle Choir is singing. The Utah experience is probably not complete without a little outdoor recreation. You have several wonderful lakes, like Lake Powell. You have skiing in the mountains, road tripping, but the go-to destinations in Utah are their incredible national parks. I have been to all 5 of their national parks and can pretty much tell you, spend your time focused on Bryce, Zion, and Arches. They have more to see and do than Canyonlands and Capitol Reef. Don't miss the amazing hiking opportunities in these parks. If you live in Utah, you can definitely take advantage of these incredible opportunities. Utah is an amazing place with several great cities to live in. Most people who move there fall under a few different schools of thought. Number 1, they live in Salt Lake City and enjoy a more urban environment, and they make that their home base to explore all throughout the state. Number 2 is to live in the South, perhaps around St. George, and take advantage of the fantastic sunshine, warm winters. St. George is also only a 2-hour drive to Vegas, so you can enjoy that as well. Number 3 would be to live somewhere that's near proximity to a destination, like BYU, a national park, or another attraction. The question is, who is most likely to enjoy living in the state of Utah? Well, first, anyone who is looking for a great place to raise a family. Utah is really an obvious choice and has a lot to offer for them. Secondly, anyone looking for a slower pace of life and great community structure. The great thing about Utah is their slower pace of life doesn't coincide with low paychecks like many places. Lastly, anyone who has a desire to be in nature. You literally have a year-round playground at your disposal. Utah can turn anyone into an outdoorsman with all the amazing natural beauty. Some may claim that Utah is just too boring for them, and it is understandable. Utah doesn't have the entertainment choices that many metropolitan areas do have, but Utah offers many things that other places just can't compete with. Utah is an amazing place, and quite frankly, it just might be my favorite state to visit for its natural beauty. If you are looking to move and haven't at least given any thought about Utah, you may want to reconsider because of their incredible economy, great family environment, strong communities, quality education system, and of course, their natural beauty. If you got value from today's video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. I'm doing a series overviewing states just like this one, and you can click the playlist right on the screen. If you have a question, or you'd like to add something, or you think I got it totally wrong, go ahead and comment down below, and I'll try to answer any questions. Well, I hope that each and every one of you has a great rest of your day. Take care.